Today's episode of Words From Our Mouths is brought to you by Spider Crate. For just $8.99 a month, we'll send you a box filled to the brim with spiders that will enrich your life in ways you could not possibly imagine. That's not real. Welcome back to the podcast. Pete and James here once more, filling your eardrums with nonsense. James, how the devil are you?
Where the hell are we getting all these spiders from?
It's not real, it's okay, don't worry.
Oh God, I don't like spiders.
I don't like spiders either. Okay, just a quick disclaimer, I stole that from a YouTuber.
Oh, okay. I'm just thinking, like, if you put air holes in the box so the spiders don't die, do the spiders get out?
Well, obviously, that's why you don't put air holes in.
But then all the spiders die.
No, they'll be fine. I've tested it.
Stop putting animals in boxes.
Spiders aren't animals, they are devils.
Stop putting living beings in boxes.
Well, that's fair. But, no, come on, would you buy it, though? For
No!
$8.99 a month?
I would not buy a crate of spiders for fucking anything. You could pay me $8.99 a month. I still don't want a crate of spiders.
You don't know it until you've tried it.
Unless I had, like, a lizard that ate spiders, then I'd potentially buy some spiders. But otherwise, I don't want spiders. I'm saying spiders too many times, I don't like it.
Do you feel itchy now and
A
jittery?
little bit, yes.
Yeah, there's one on you.
The fact is, all I can hear is the slight tapping on the windows because it's absolutely pissing it down.
And it sounds like the pitter-patter of thousands of spiders trying to get out of a box.
Yes!
Here's an interesting thing, actually, I learned
Fucking
about
nightmares
spiders.
now.
Yeah, well, you're going to have even more now. Right,
Okay.
So in your average household, there is about 400 spiders.
Yes, but I don't mind them when I can't see them because they're busy keeping the flies out of the way and I approve of that.
I've not finished yet. That's in an average household. In a very, very clean household, there's probably around 40. And in a very cluttered household, there's about 4,000.
I live with an old person. My house is cluttered as shit.
So you live with a lot of spiders.
But again, I don't mind as long as they're not on my face.
They're on your face when you're not looking.
Well, I don't see them, so I'm okay with it.
Oh, right. You're okay with spiders being on your face while you sleep?
Yeah, I don't give a shit. They keep the flies away from my face.
Oh, I'd much rather have a fly.
I have a really stupid story on this, actually. Which is
Oh,
going
here
to
we go.
It's going to make my house sound even worse. A few years
Fasten
ago...
your seatbelts, ladies and gentlemen.
It's not that good a story, or that long a story. A few years ago, when... I can't remember what it was, but me and the dog, we used to have a pug. We were sat on the sofa, she was sat on my lap, in the little sitting way dogs do. I was stroking her back, and obviously start from the ears and stroke down, and I felt her head, like, flick and lock in the direction. I was like, what the hell is she looking at? So I looked over, and there was a mouse walking along the floor. So what me and the dog do is watch it literally walk right away across the room, right all across the sight line. We both then looked back at the TV before like suddenly thinking like, what the fuck, there's a mouse! At this point I already lost track of it. But it was just one of those ones like, TV. Wait, hang on, shit.
Interesting, a mouse. Hold on, this is not correct.
It was the fact that the dog did it as well. That was what made it weird. I do it for stuff like that all the time. You look at it like, oh, there's a plane coming towards me. Shit, that's a plane crash. I would be like that. But the dog shouldn't.
I don't know, dogs can be pretty docile things. I live with enough of them.
They do say like dogs turn like your owners, and my pug used to sleep 26 hours of the day. I miss my pug.
26 hours of the day?
Yes.
That's a day plus a little bit of the next day.
Yeah, but she'd get that every day. That's how good she was at sleeping.
That doesn't make sense.
Exactly. Don't argue with pug logic.
No, my brain's going to implode. This is illegal.
It's a pug. This is what they do. I once took her... I thought, all dogs love the woods. I'll take her to the woods. She got out of the car, she got a wet foot, and then looked at me with her paw in the air like, my foot's wet.
So you had a princess of a dog.
Oh God, I did. It was a pug. So then I
Yeah,
thought... So
they're
I
more
put,
like cats.
I put her in a little harness. She was just a bit like, what the fuck is this shit? We don't normally do this. I normally just do a collar. But I thought, we're out in the woods. I'll put in the harness, do it properly. Started walking down the path, at which point she's walking on a little bit of grass in the middle because she doesn't want to get dirty.
Oh, that's so cute.
We got, it must have been half a mile if that, and she just sat down. I was just like, come on then. She said, no, I'm
Not
done.
going anywhere now.
And she just laid there. I dragged her for about 10 yards before she just laid there. And I thought, oh, fuck's sake. I had to carry her back to the car.
Oh,
I carried her for like 100 yards, sort of bit, put her down, and she just lay down again. I'm like, are you okay? She's looking like, yeah, fine, I just can't be asked to walk
that's
anymore.
what toddlers do when they don't want to go somewhere.
That's exactly what my pug was like. She was just like, I'm done now, thanks. I don't like it here anyway, let's go home. It's warmer at home.
Oh, that's cute though.
I've got quite a big garden. It's like a 20, 25 metre long garden. That's enough for a pug. I used to take her out. I used to take her out daily. She didn't want to go. It was more hassle to get the dog out. You know, normally when you try to get a dog out, they're that excited that it's hard to get the lead on them because they won't stop bouncing around.
Yes,
She was
I
the
know
opposite.
that.
She was that bored and that uninterested. It was hard to get the lead on because she didn't want to. Genuinely didn't like walking.
Don't take me away from the fireplace.
Oh, she used to lay in front of the
That's
fire
how
all
I
the
feel
time.
though.
She loved
Whenever
it.
somebody tries to get me ready to go and they put my lead on, I'm just like, I really don't want to go.
See, you say that, I instantly imagined you in a halter, which I can completely see Charlotte having to do, where she'd wander off.
Well, you know those backpacks with the straps?
Yeah, they're called
And then
halters,
you've
aren't they?
got, like, I don't know. I call them reins because you sort of guide your child like Santa and his reindeers.
I think the correct term is halter, but I could be wrong on that. You're the one with a child. You're the one with two children.
I don't.
Children?
It's a child lead as far as I'm concerned. Children are mostly like pets for a good portion of their lives. You feed them, you take them for walks, and they sit on your knee and go to sleep.
And you have to clean up the shit.
Yeah, exactly. The only difference is you can teach them to do stuff a little bit more complex than animals.
Yeah, but dogs are just better.
Cheaper, I think, is the word you're looking for.
They're easier to train not to shit in the house as well.
Initially, yes, but then dogs can't train other dogs to not do it.
I know they can. Not completely, but they kind of...
It's a little bit more rare, isn't
If you
it?
have an older dog and a puppy, the puppy will learn from the older dog.
Oh, well, okay, that's fair.
Lead by example, don't they?
Are you telling me that dogs are more useful than people? Because I'm totally on board with that, by the way.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Okay, we're not even 10 minutes in and we've settled on the fact that humans are irrelevant and dogs should rule.
Yes.
All hail your pupper overlord.
Also, there's one thing that humans are better at than dogs.
Being dogs.
Driving.
Now, have you let your dog try to drive?
She used to fall asleep.
And also, I got confused when I said being dogs because I thought you said it the other way around.
I've had two dogs. I've owned two dogs myself. One of them, she'd fall asleep in the footwell. You couldn't put anyone else in the car. You put her in the boot of the car, she'd climb away through. She broke like parcel shelf once. That determined to get out of the boot. Got into the back seat, climbed through, got into the passenger footwell, and then fell asleep. She was in there. She was fine. Anywhere else in the car, she hated it. So that's where she went. And then my other dog, my collie, would chase cars a lot, so he wouldn't be very good at driving either. One's asleep in the footwell, one's busy chasing other cars. Together, they can't drive.
Excuse me, sorry.
Also,
That's the combined intelligence of less than one dog.
yes. Well, there was two dogs, and the combined intelligence was about half. They're my dogs, let's face it. They're a handicap already.
Well, dogs do end up like their owners, like you say.
Although, believe it or not, I'm good with dogs. I'm terrible with people.
I'm good with being on my own.
I'm not good at that. I end up breaking stuff.
I don't think you need to be alone to break stuff.
I'm better at it if people are watching me. Better at not doing it if people are watching.
Your problem is you're clumsy. It's nothing to do with people being around or
Well,
not.
it's either clumsy or bored. Because if I get bored, I take things apart. Like when I
What
was
do you mean? Not dogs, right?
No, not dogs. Like when I was younger, I loved taking apart like clocks, especially older
Okay.
clocks with proper clockwork. Couldn't put them back together. Still can't put them back together. Clockwork is fucking magic.
I don't think it's magic. I think you just need to learn
You
what
get
you're
some
doing
gears,
first.
some springs, the blood of a virgin, a goat testicle, and a chant, and then you tell the time.
I don't think that's how it works. I think it's to do with the size of the gears and the rotation times.
Springs are a bigger part of it than anything else. Generally, on a proper one these days, you're using quartz, so it's the vibration of the quartz.
Yes, obviously. I know exactly what you just said.
Quartz vibrates at 60, I think it's 60 hertz. So basically it vibrates once a second.
It vibrates the
Or
same
it-
refresh rate as my screen.
Oh, is it? It vibrates so many times a second, but it's a consistent number. So that's how old clocks tell the time, is by how many times that vibrates. It can, a bit of quartz vibrates, you can then use that to tell a second. And then all the other gears, all they're doing is just counting the seconds, basically.
So our time is made up of vibrating rocks. That's
Yes.
how our...
That's how quartz Because you've heard of quartz in watches
That's
before.
how we've understood to tell the time for so long, is vibrating rocks.
We set the time and then found a rock that vibrated where we wanted it. We decided how long a second was and made the rock fit. It wasn't we made the time to fit the rock, we made the rock fit the time.
Oh.
Because before clockwork, we could still tell the time. That's like sundials and that sort of shit. And pendulums. That's how grandfather clocks work, is with a pendulum rather than quartz. Quartz tends to be like Rolexes and good watches.
But most grandfather clocks I see work without the pendulum working.
Yeah, it's because they've got a battery in these days.
So the pendulum's for show.
Yeah. But on a
But
proper...
it used to have a function. I learned something today. I thought it was just for show anyway, like hypnotising your children.
Because again, a pendulum should... the right size and length of pendulum, the height of the weight on the pendulum and all that lot swings at a certain speed. And it should be... I think it's normally out and back once a second, if that makes sense. So there's a full cycle every second. And again, that's what controls the second hand. And then 60 times that goes... When that goes around 60 times, the minute goes once. When that goes around 60 times, the hour goes once. And that's how clocks work. I know they work. I can't put them back together, though, because the gears are too complicated. But I know how clockwork works.
That's interesting. I didn't know that. But it makes sense now that I hear it.
And you wonder why I'll go into being a mechanic and fixing things.
I do wonder why you're going to fixing things when your profession is breaking them.
My profession isn't breaking things. My hobby
Your
is breaking
proficiency.
them.
I meant your proficiency is breaking them. Sorry.
But that's
But
how you
words
learn how
words
stuff
are so
works.
hard when you're tired. No, it's not how you learn how stuff works. You get someone to teach you. You go to a verified
But how did they
educational
learn?
body. By going to other verified educational
How
bodies.
did they learn?
By going to other verified educational
And
bodies.
you keep going back, and how did the original people learn?
Yeah, because you don't have to take stuff apart anymore. That's what I'm saying. Somebody else has already done that bit.
Yeah, but...
But nothing, you
Fuck
Neanderthal. Stop breaking stuff.
I have once... I was in a shop and I bought... it was a beautiful little, like a carriage clock style thing to take it apart.
How much did you spend on
It
that?
was like 30 quid.
And did you break it?
Yep.
Irreparably?
Yep. Well, I suppose if I took it to a clocksmith... That doesn't sound right.
Locksmith? No, you're confused with a locksmith.
I know, but a clocksmith sounds like... What are they called? There's an actual name for people that do repair clocks. Is it a clocksmith? I'm going to Google it.
A watchmaker?
It doesn't sound good enough.
A clockmaker?
A clocksmith.
Clock worker?
A clocksmith. Someone whose occupation is
Oh,
making or
clocksmith is
repairing
right.
clocks. Yeah, fuck you.
Wow, that sounds like you just made it up.
Because, like, a watch repairer is the sort of person that's going to put a new battery in it and put a band on it. If the mechanism inside is
Charge you
gone...
52 quid for the... For
Exactly.
The charger.
If the mechanism's gone, they're going to go, you need a new watch.
Watchmaker is slang for con man.
Not always, but a
How
clock...
expensive it is to get shoes repaired nowadays?
Do you know... But
This is, it's because there's a shop near where I live that he repairs watches and clocks, and he also repairs shoes. First of all, who repairs shoes? Just buy some new ones. But second of all, repairing the shoes costs almost as much as buying new shoes.
It depends, though, because if you've got a £300-400 pair of Brogue shoes, the 40 quid to re-heal them is a lot cheaper than buying another £300 pair of shoes.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. But who's going to spend that much? Do you have that much? Do you have shoes worth that much?
No. I'd
You
like
strike
a
me as
pair,
the kind of person. No, I hate you. There's a shop that we went to Blackpool.
It would only be for
this was
if...
before lockdowns. Listen to my story first.
Okay, fine.
Yes, thank you. We went to Blackpool. This was ages ago. We've not been anywhere for ages.
Blackpool?
And we there's a shop in their shopping centre, and it's always empty. No one's ever in there, and it just sells shoes that are worth £500 and above. And not only are they really expensive, they are hideous. They're like lime green with this weird brown sole. And whoever would buy them, you've got to have more money than sense, because if you had any sense, you wouldn't buy them anyway.
See, I have a nice... They were fairly expensive for what I'd say for a pair of shoes. They're about 80 quid, which are my dressy shoes.
Oh, I spend £60 on my work shoes.
I buy one pair of trainers a time. Probably lasts me like 4 to 5 months. I normally spend about 40-50 quid on them. I get like Skechers generally because I'm old now.
What? They only last you a few months?
It's the only pair I wear though.
Well, because I only buy one pair of trainers at a time, and I spend about 18 quid. And they usually last me a year or two.
I tend to go out a lot more than you, I think, Pete.
That's a very, very good point.
I'll go climb trees in them. That ruins shoes. Oh
Why are
yes,
you climbing trees? How old are you? Stop climbing trees.
climbing trees is great. You get
Stop it. This is
better
hang
view.
on. This is why you end up injured so often, isn't it?
Why have you got broken ribs? Fell out of a tree.
Why were you in a tree? Because why not?
Exactly. I wanted a better view. But
So, I'm just going to make a quick note of this. James is turning back into a monkey.
I am the
Buy
de-evolution of man.
gifts as a what? Sorry.
I am the de-evolution of man.
Yeah, you're not the missing link. You're just the backward. You're the contraflow of evolution.
I'm the what is it? The anomaly that proves the rule.
Yeah, because you're the proof that it came from there because you're going back there. Lovely stuff. Yeah, I spend 60 quid on work shoes. I mean, my work shoes used to last about like 3 or 4 months, and I was spending 20 quid a time. Whereas if I spend about 60, I'll get 2 years out of them.
See, my work shoes were 150 quid this time.
You need like speciality shoes. I don't.
Well, not really. They're just steel toe cap safety boots. But by Timberlands.
That's speciality. Not every job
true.
needs. I wear steel toe cap shoes in case I drop the printer on myself.
But it's not like it's. You get some boots that have got to be like steel soled and all that lot, or no steel in them because of sparking and that sort of thing. There's nothing like that. They are just standard steel toe caps. Actually, mine are steel soled as well. Thinking about it, but anyway,
mine are oil resistant, hot oil resistant.
Mine are as well. Mine are designed for working in a garage.
Pretty cool, right?
But yeah, so I buy Timberlands, but that's because I bought a pair. No, I got given a pair at my old job, and they lasted me 3.5 years. Which for work boots that I wear.
That's pretty good.
On average, 10 hours a day, at the minute, 6 days a week.
Yeah, that's really good.
You can't fault it. I've got this current pair I've had over a year now, and they still look spotless.
It's always I'm a cheapskate when it comes to clothes, but when it comes to work shoes, I won't save. I won't scrimp on that anymore because it's like you say, I wear mine 10 hours a day as well, and I want to be comfortable and I want them to last.
The other thing, buy a pair of decent gel insert things. The shoal ones, whatever they're called.
I get those, but only when the insole starts to collapse.
Yeah, but once I start using, like, I've now just started using them on my new boots because the insoles are starting to go.
Yeah.
But I replace them like every 2-3 months, and I don't care that it's like 10 quid at a time. They're so worth it.
But you come home from work and your feet don't feel like they've been bitten all day.
Exactly.
So yeah, I understand.
On stuff. See, the other thing I spend money on is jeans. I generally not for work. My work jeans are just cheap Sainsbury's ones. For every day, I tend to wear Levi's. But then I haven't bought a pair of jeans in 5-6 years. I've got like 3 pairs. Some of them have lasted me like 10-15 years. Yes, they were 80 quid, but if they last me 10 years, that's £8 a year.
I have jeans that have lasted me 10 years, and then they were like £13.
But again, I climb trees.
That's a good point. Yeah. I don't really buy my own clothes anymore, though, and that sounds stupid. Like I've sort of not progressed back to my mum buying them, but Charlotte gets them for me. Christmas and birthdays, I don't go through a lot of clothes. I tend to wear the same outfit over and over until it breaks.
No, I'm
like a cartoon character. You either see me in my work clothes or that same colour palette.
I buy a lot of stupid t-shirts. Just like I've got one which has got a
Was it you who had the Team Liquid shirt?
Yeah, I've got a Liquid shirt.
Yeah. I bet that was expensive. Jersey, sorry.
It was like 50 quid by the time you got I got Miracle put on the back of it and all that lot.
You put Miracle on it, oh.
Yeah, I like Miracle. Well, I did when he played Liquid. For those confused, it's an esports team we're discussing, not like a water-made shirt.
No, Team Water. We're just discussing Team Water. It's actually from one of the Pokemon games.
When
Team
you
Liquid
first
and
said
Team
Team,
Solid.
I expected you to say Team Rocket. I was like, I don't think I have a Team Rocket shirt. This is Liquid. I was like, oh shit, no, I do have one of those.
Team Rocket shirt.
Overspending on stuff though. I bought a fake Breitling watch. How much?
You told me about this.
I knew it was fake when I bought it because of the cost.
Yeah, and you paid about 500 quid for it.
It was 400 quid, yes.
Yeah, for a fake watch. But to be fair, you've made a massive saving on the 15,000 that would have been for a real one.
It's not that bad. It's 12,000.
Oh, I'm sorry, my bad. That £3,000 pocket change makes all the difference. You're right.
Are you telling me £3,000 doesn't make a big difference to you?
I'm saying that if I'm going to spend 15 grand, the £3,000 isn't going to make a difference. No.
See, again, it's not an everyday wearing watch though. I like the few things I do overspend on, clothing wise. Is like I've got a fairly nice pair of shoes. I wouldn't mind a better pair of like a nice smart brown shoes. When I do buy a pair, I'm probably going to spend.
Why brown?
I tend to wear blue trousers and like pinky shirts, that sort of thing. And if I'm going out,
so you want to outwardly announce without speaking that you're a knobhead, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just checking.
It's alright. I normally do a grey jumper, like a cashmere sort of thing, with pink shirt with the collar showing through and the sleeves showing through, blue jeans with a brown belt and brown shoes.
That's a really contrived look you're going for. Do you know what I wear when I'm being smart? Whatever I'm told to.
But then the other thing is, I own 2 suits. One like a interviewee suit, one more like a wedding celebration suit sort of thing, a dressy suit. Both of them are silver. One's grey, one's silver. Go with brown shoes as well. Hence why either blue jeans or dark jeans go with brown, blue trousers, and then grey suit. All of it goes with brown shoes.
Is that like a rule, or is it just how you like it?
You shouldn't. If you just think about it, if you have a grey suit and black shoes, it doesn't look as good.
I know I would wear black shoes with a grey suit.
You wear black shoes with black suit.
I'd wear black shoes with a blue suit. I did actually. I own one suit,
You should
I
do
bought
brown
it
shoes
for.
with a blue suit.
No, you should. That's just your opinion. You're just
It's not my
making rules up.
Lots of other people agree with me. That's like a style thing. You do brown and blue; they go together. They've got the same starting letter. So it's black. Shut up, James.
I was going to say you just faulted your own logic from the get-go there. No, I own one suit. I bought it for my nephew's christening, and I had to buy a bigger size because I was a bigger boy back then. I've since lost weight, and now the only suit I own is too big for me.
But
it goes with black shoes, funnily enough, being a blue suit.
Brown. It depends what sort of blue as well. But it's going to be
blue.
Knowing you, it's going to be a dark navy. Yeah, brown would look better.
What do you mean, knowing me? How could you guess what colour suit?
Because you're not going to pick like a pale blue suit.
That's true.
Exactly.
Because I don't want people to look at me.
Exactly. I know you. You're going to pick a nice, boring brown. Blue
If
suit.
I could, if I had the prior knowledge, I would have picked one the same colour as the walls of the church, so it would have blended in perfectly.
See, when I bought a suit quite recently. That wasn't too bad. That was about £200. But that was
I only spent 70.
That was trousers, jacket, waistcoat, shirt. 2 shirts came with it.
Waistcoat.
And
You know why it's called a waistcoat? Because it's a waste of money.
Because when you take your jacket off, you're still wearing something smart. But
a shirt is smart.
It's not wedding
A buttoned
smart,
up
though, is
shirt
it?
with a tie is smart.
It's not wedding smart.
A buttoned up shirt with a tie?
Yeah, considering...
Why is that not wedding smart? What kind of backwards Victorian era do you live in?
But, well,
One of them massive collars, what are they called?
Is it a winged collar? That's only valid if you have a bow tie on. Or you thinking
I hate fashion so much.
Or you thinking the really high ones like Dracula has?
Yeah, one of those. Yeah.
I don't know what they're called. They're not in style.
Oh, sorry. You only know the names of things that are in style. I forget how fashionable you are. You're so cool, James. This is why all the ladies want you.
When it comes to dressing up, I like to think I am quite fashionable. Every day I'm not. I don't give a shit. But if I've got I like dressing up smart. I feel good in a suit, if that makes sense. There's something about wearing a suit that makes me feel...
I know. I'm going to do some pseudo psychology on you. You feel relevant in a suit.
It could well be. I don't know what it is. There's just something about being in a suit.
I'm gonna be a pretend psychologist now and tell you that it all goes back to your relationship with your mother and the absence of sex.
With my mother, I hope there's an absence of sex with my mother, to be honest.
Maybe you regret that.
No, I do not.
Tell me how that makes you feel. When was the last time you spoke to your father?
What time is it? I left his probably about 8:20.
Oh.
So 40 minutes ago?
Okay, no, my
fuck you, Pete.
I was trying to paint you as like a girl with daddy issues.
I probably do have daddy issues, but not for that reason.
I'm sorry to hear that. How does that make you feel? What would you tell your younger self if you could?
We're not getting into this now because I'll start crying.
Again, you've only just stopped till we could do the podcast.
So life's hard at the minute.
I know, it's okay.
No, anyway.
It's not your fault, James.
It normally is.
It's not your fault. You're worth more than you put yourself through.
Would you shut up? You're really distracting me.
Stop pretending you've got any sort of structure to these things.
Stop pretending you care.
I'm not pretending I care. I'm trying to make you cry by triggering all those subconscious fears and doubts.
Okay. No, I like dressing up. I don't know what it is.
You're worth it.
There's something about being like going through the effort of actually fucking having a shave for once.
And speaking of which, I really need to shave because I have to wear a mask all day at work now.
Oh god.
The slightest bit of stubble just catches every minute, and my face is on fire, and you can't touch your face to itch it either because people look at you and go, "You'll spread something."
See, I end up going like half a centimetre to a centimetre long before I shave, because that's when my jumper starts annoying me, because I'm too lazy. But for argument's sake, we'll go for a wedding. If I was going to a wedding, it depends where you're going, but like somewhere fancy, I'd obviously have a haircut a few days beforehand. You'd have a good shave. I'd actually vaguely get most of the oil out of my hands. It takes me like soaking my hands in salt water for like an hour to do it, but eventually all the oil will come out of my hands.
But you put a lot of effort in, don't you? Are you lucky if I brush my teeth for a formal event?
It's like, if for some weird reason you invited me to your wedding, I'd put more effort into it than I have to anything else that year.
Unfortunately, you're not invited.
Why am I not invited?
Because nobody's invited.
Is it because you haven't planned it yet?
Yes. So as it stands, nobody's invited, so don't
think-
feel like it's personal.
I think I can guarantee of at least 4 people that are going to be invited.
Or
Yeah.
are me and Charlotte two of them?
Yes.
Oh, right, okay. And the other two are my kids, right?
Yes.
Right, okay. Nailed it.
Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. That's the 4 minimum.
There'll be parents and stuff involved as well. Actually,
Parents and stuff,
there
yeah.
will be at least 2 more people because you need 2 people to bear witness.
That's true, but we don't have to know them.
No, you don't have to know them. Just say you're casually walking down the street, you and Charlotte, and somebody came out of the registry office and said, "Look, can you bear witness to our wedding now?" Would you do it?
I don't know what happened to your microphone then, but you sounded like a robot.
I am a robot.
Oh. Just repeat the question for me.
If you were walking down the street in your town, and you passed the registry office, and someone came running out saying, "Our friends are stuck in traffic or whatever, we need someone to bear witness to our wedding now," will you do it?
It depends if I'm in a hurry.
You're just having a day out, you and Charlotte.
Sure, why not?
I just was in the wedding photos, you'd turn the back and go like, "Hello!" Actually, you wouldn't be hello, you'd be hiding, but Charlotte would say hello.
And, I'd offer to take the pictures for the wedding and everything, Let's make this a special day for you. You're obviously hiding your wedding from your parents, so let's just
Eloped
go
or
all
something
out.
like that.
Yeah.
See, if I did that, I'd want the random people in the wedding, in the photos and stuff.
Yeah, just like so you could hang them above your sofa in the living room.
People
This is
go,
us getting married, and who are those two? Not a clue.
people go,
Didn't even ask the names.
Is that, who's that? Oh, it's my best man and the maid of honor. Who are they? Not a fucking clue what their names
Yeah,
were.
okay. I think she's called Janet. I have no idea.
I think he was high the whole time. He kept saying his name was Phil or Paul or John or I can't remember.
That's a wide variety of names. It could have been Hector.
He did buy us a drink afterwards though, so
How nice of him. I think if we haven't planned a wedding. We have spoken about the idea of just sort of eloping, just run away, get married, and come back, and then just inform everybody that we got married.
I think your sister would be annoyed at that.
I think a lot of my family would be, but at the same time,
I don't know the rest of your family. I know your sister, and I think she'd be annoyed at it.
She would be, yeah. Well, I don't know if she'd be annoyed. I think she'd be annoyed if I didn't tell her I was going to do it first.
But then
And
she'd want to go with
she'd
you.
get over it. Well, no, she wouldn't, because if we said that's what we were doing, she'd be like, all right, okay. But I think she would like to
Pizza
announce
loping!
I don't know how my mum would feel about it, because there's some things that she's really chilled out about, and there are other things that she'd be offended by. It's something I'd have to have a conversation with her about, but then I'd probably have that conversation after we'd done it. If we were to
After
do
you'd
that.
eloped.
Yeah. So I'd prefer it because I mean, I'm not one for ceremony. The only wedding that I actually enjoy, I've not been to many, but the only wedding that I actually really enjoyed going to was my brother's. And they put a lot of effort into that wedding. They spared no expense. A lot of time and effort went into planning it. I imagine it was fucking expensive, but I don't ask how much it cost them.
See, the thing with costs of weddings and stuff is it's expensive. It's as expensive as you make it.
Well, yeah, I know. But see, for theirs, there was a lot of people there, and there was a lot of food there, and the food was great. And it was a good time, and, I'm not really one for parties and things like that. I didn't stay very late, because that's not really me.
See, you'd leave your own wedding early, wouldn't you?
I definitely would. Apparently, I'm not allowed to do that.
No, you're not. What's Charlotte like with parties and that sort of thing? Is she going to make you stay till all day?
Well, she was, until I came along, she was more, she had a nightlife. And that's not to say I've taken it away from her. She chooses not to go now. Because I offer to be the driver for things like that. I say, if you're going to do that, then baby will be watched by your parents and I'll do the driving so that so I know you're safe. I can look after you and get you there and back. But she just turns down all the invites now. But she'd be more inclined to enjoy the party than I would.
See, on that one, there's something I think that you'll agree with. I don't know what is going on today. I think there's something you'd agree with me. You'd much rather have a phone call at 2 in the morning saying, "Can you pick me up?" than a phone call at 4 in the morning saying they've been killed.
Of course I would, yeah.
I've always said that to my friends. It's like, if you think you're too drunk to drive, just phone me. I'm going to be pissed off at you.
I'd rather be annoyed at you than be
come.
dead.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'd rather be driving you home with a frown than driving to your funeral a week after.
When you make my car smell of puke, you will be cleaning it out.
Yeah, but you'll be alive and able to do so, and that's better.
It's okay, I've got leather seats.
Well, Charlotte extends that offer to her friends now. So she says that if they're ever stuck, ring her and I'll go pick them up. That's nice.
Yeah, if you've heard a bad night out, I'll send Pete.
Yeah, well, at the same time, because she said it to people now, I'd feel responsible if something happened to them. So I could have helped. I could have taken them home. You know.
If you don't go, you'd be like, oh, I've got to put my suit on, then I've got a funeral to go to.
If I'm not busy, I'll do anything for anybody. Like, I took my boss and his missus to the airport for the holiday once, just because I wasn't busy. It was at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Would you like to bring me lunch?
I'm busy.
Oh. What are you doing tomorrow?
Busy. Busy. Lots of stuff and things.
You're going to sit in bed all day, aren't you?
Actually, no. I'm solo parenting tomorrow.
Oh, God. You're being trusted.
I'm really good at that, I'll have you know. We do lots of activities like, well, I say drawing. I try and get him to hold a pen, and he puts the pen down and then starts chasing the dog.
When you used to be solo parenting, every now and again, while we're playing games, all we'd hear is hooting from the background because your son is actually an owl.
Well, that's when he wakes up from his nap. He hoots.
When he wakes up from his nap, he becomes an owl.
Well, yeah, because he's quite relaxed. So I would play the games with you while he was sleeping, and then he'll wake up and you'll hear a ooh.
Speaking of
what he's normally doing at that point is he's lying in his cot with his comforter teddy thing in the air, and he's sort of flying it back and forth and shouting "hoo" at it, and it's cute. It's nice.
He's an owl.
He's not an owl. He's some kind of rodent hybrid.
If I text Arthur now saying what is Pete's son, or what animal is Pete's son, he would reply owl.
Yes, he would.
Because your son is an owl.
No, because you heard owl noises that one time.
It's about 8 or 9 times now. It's not the one
so he
time.
Yeah, okay, that one specific. Okay, them 8 or 9 specific times that you heard him make noises, he sounded like an owl.
It's like when we're playing games. Behind me, you hear the chase or whatever's on TV.
Behind Walsh is definitely a mainstay of your microphone. Yeah.
Behind Arthur's, you're more likely to hear police cars or mopeds. And behind you,
because he plays games when he's being chased by the police with his biker gang.
Yes, and behind you, there's owls.
Yes, and then behind Connor, there's... Oh, no, it's just him twitching, isn't it?
That was a bit of a dig. I love it.
It was a bit of a dig.
Claw, you normally hear family. His family doing things.
You'll hear him arguing with someone because he wants them to bring him a ham sandwich, and he won't. No, I don't want a fucking drink. I want a fucking ham sandwich.
Would you like a cup of tea? Where's my sandwich?
I asked for a sandwich half an hour ago. You could make it yourself. Shut the fuck up.
Oh. So, by the time this comes out, it will be the last podcast before Christmas.
Merry Christmas to all of you, by the way.
Yes, Merry Christmas.
And happy whatever holiday you celebrate. I don't know them all.
Are you ready?
For what?
Christmas.
Oh, yeah, I've been ready for ages.
I'm not.
In fact, when we did the last podcast, I'd already wrapped everything. I'm literally putting my feet up and waiting for December 25th now.
Yeah, I'm not ready. At all.
How many people do you have to buy for?
Left, like 2.
How many in total?
I don't fucking know.
Oh, do you not write a list? No. And check it twice? And not find out who's been naughty or nice?
Shit, I got 3 to buy for. Different from my nan. Who I live with. How the fuck did I forget her? I have.
That's really, really rude of you to forget.
Well, Discord just went weird, but I think it was just Discord.
It was just Discord because it happened to me as well.
I have both nans. Dad, stepmum, mum, stepdad. Weird saying that. Brother, sister, brother, cousins, Hannah. Is your Uncle Dave?
You need a
I'm at
calculator.
15. I think it's 15 people. Which is
15
okay, because I
people.
normally
I
say
don't know,
14. But there's Hannah in
See,
this.
the best part of being in a long-term relationship is that Charlotte has a really long list, and my list is just Charlotte.
Charlotte's a really long list and your credit card.
No, we share
you know
money,
what I mean.
so
The bank card, then.
the bank card, yeah. You know, people find it weird nowadays that we share money. When I talk to people, I was going to say friends. Then I have very few friends at work. You know, other than you every week. The only people I interact with are people from work. But when I ever bring up the finance situation, the fact that our money gets pooled and we just share it, so she might buy herself something that has technically cost me and vice versa. People think that's odd.
See, people don't do it so much as they used to. See, like a shared bank account used to be the thing. You used to meet up, get married, have a shared bank account, have a kid, have a dog, get a mortgage, get a divorce, that sort of thing.
The classics, the classic romance story for the ages.
But now people don't do shared bank accounts so much. Mind you, most people.
I find, we don't even have a shared bank account. We just we just give our money to and fro. When we need it.
No.
You know, it's like if she's struggling 1 month, I give it her, and then. But it's like say if she did something a little bit off the cuff and spent quite a lot of money, I wouldn't then say, "Ha, now you spent all your money." I'd put money in her account so that she's got.
See, I'd say, "Ha, you spent all your money,"
and she does the same for me. Well, she does the same for me as well.
See,
so
I'd say, "Ha, you spent all your money," while putting money in the account. But hi.
Oh well, I do that.
But haha, you owe me now, even though it's not an actual owe me. It's just make me dinner or something like that.
That playful sort of haha, I saved your bum.
What was that?
I saved your bum. I was being PG-13.
I thought you said shaved
okay?
at first.
I shaved your bum. Your bum is no longer hairy. Here is some money.
I was a bit like, okay, whatever you and Charlotte do in the bedroom.
Why would you shave someone's bum?
I don't know, you're weird, Pete.
You're going to do it in the bath,
Why are you shaving your partner's ass?
I'm not, but I'm just thinking, like, if you do that in the bedroom, you got to hoover up afterwards.
How hairy is her ass for you to have to hoover it?
Not very anymore, because I've shaved, haven't I?
For fuck's sake.
This is your fault. You derailed it.
Well, I misheard you. You didn't speak clearly enough.
And then I never
It's all
do.
your fault.
This is an issue I have. I talk too fast for my brain. No, my brain thinks too fast for my mouth. This is the reason I've got really bad handwriting, because I think faster than I write.
I'm terrible for that.
And if I don't write it really quickly, I'll never write it down, so I have to write as fast as my thoughts are coming out, and it just turns into an illegible mess, which is horrible, because then I can't read back what my thoughts
Honestly,
were.
I have terrible handwriting. Nobody else can read it, but I can read it perfectly.
I can read mine for about 10 days after I've written it. Anything older than 10 days, because I can't remember what it was, I can't read it.
See, I'm like a doctor. It's readable only to other doctors.
Comparing yourself to a doctor. You're not. You keep saying this at awkward times and people think you're a doctor, but really, you're just a guy who was in a banana suit with a yellow hand.
You love that story.
I told it to people at work
No,
recently.
you're supposed to tell them via the podcast.
I told them for the full story, please see the
that's fine.
podcast. Or listen to the podcast. I couldn't remember all the details. I was too busy crunched over laughing. You know, I hit my head on the desk during that
You're
laugh.
welcome.
The microphone didn't quite pick it up for whatever reason, but I leaned over and my head hit the corner of my desk and it really
When
hurt.
was the last time you had a head-hittingly good laugh before that?
About 2 weeks before, when someone made me laugh in the freezer at work and I hit my head on the extractor fan. But like right on the corner as well, and it made my head bleed.
Sorry, you laughed that much, your head bled.
Well, no, I you know when you go backwards a bit when you laugh at something. You see, you know
How much force do you laugh with?
Well, no, okay, I'm just going to provide some context. Remember when we did that Factorio stream and Brandoink was in the chat?
Yeah, vaguely.
And he said the words, "A cock in the hand is worth two in the ass."
I was trying to remember the phrase. Yes, a cock in the hand is worth two in the ass.
Right, that's who I work with. And it was him who made me laugh. Now, he comes out with stuff like that all the time. It's totally out of any sort of context, as in there's no build-up to it. He just says these things. And it was, 5:30 in the morning. I was trying to find some sausage meat in a freezer. And he just bursts through, I can't remember what he said. He just bursts through the freezer door and shouts something completely random at me, catching me completely off guard. I stand up, throw my head back in laughter, and then bash it right into the corner of the extractor unit.
At which point he continues to laugh even more.
He laughs as well because I've hit my head, and we're both laughing at it. Then I carry the stock out onto the shop floor, and then he says, "Pete, please stop. There's blood running down your back."
We can't use that sausage meat anymore.
Oh, it was fine because it ran down my back. It didn't go anywhere near the sausage
at least
meat.
you're paying attention.
Yeah, I wasn't like injured and concussed or anything like that. It was just a corner had stabbed into my skin. And
you need a brain to concuss.
Because it got me right in the centre of my bald patch, so there was no cushioning of the hair to stop it.
So you do need a brain to be able to get a concussion.
That's a good point. That might be why everything was fine other than the bleeding.
Oh no, my...
But yeah, that was that. When was that? That must have been about 6 weeks ago now. So it was before any podcast. So yeah, the next time I had a head smashingly good laugh was the podcast.
That's not a description people often use.
Not many people need to use it, but you see, when something really gets me, I sort of violently crunch over. It really hurts my stomach. You know that high pitched laughing I do. That comes because air is being pushed out at funny angles because I've sort of keeled over.
Like when you jump on the balloons.
Yeah, sort of like that. Yeah, and because my windpipes are all crunched and squished, it comes out. I was like, and yeah, and the corner of my desk just sort of struck my forehead, not the other way around.
So you didn't headbutt the desk. The desk hit you.
It desk butted me.
Don't think that's true.
No, but it sort of relieves me of some responsibility, and I'm okay.
You have no responsibility anyway. You are not responsible.
I have children. You cannot tell me I'm not responsible.
No, Charlotte has child, and previous partner whose name I don't know.
You do know. You
Eloise?
Just forget. Not even close.
Oh, wait, that's someone else's missus. What's it start with?
I can't believe you don't remember.
I'll have to guess on the podcast, don't I?
You remembered 5 days ago? What is wrong with you? Yeah.
Did we talk 5 days ago?
I don't know. Well, it might have been longer. I don't know. Time is very malleable at the moment.
I remember Elliot's name. That's the important bit.
Right. That is the important bit.
I can't remember. He's fucking
right.
7.
So, yeah, he was 2 when you first heard his little dulcet tones down the
microphone. He wasn't an owl when he was a young baby. Well, he wasn't a baby. He was 2.
No, he was. No, he spoke from a very young age though, so he was quite eloquent at the age of 2. My current 2-year-old, he hoots and says and he actually says kitties, but it sounds like titties.
My friend's got a 2-year-old, and last time I was over there, which was a while ago, granted. Well, she's not actually 2 yet. She's 18. She's 2 in February, but she was in the phase of just shouting "Daddy" for everything. So Lance walks in and she goes "Daddy" in a really cute little girl way.
Aww.
And then I walked, and then she ran over and gave him a hug. Then I walked in and she goes "Daddy," ran over and gave me a hug. I'm like, no.
A couple of gay dads. That's
then
cute.
The mum, Jazz, she goes upstairs to do something. Comes down 30 seconds later, and Willow just looks over. "Daddy!" "No, Mummy!" And then Willow obviously wanders off doing kid things. Runs in about 30 seconds later with a potato. "Daddy!" Everything was Daddy. I think she's gone off that one now. But very much had a face of everything was Daddy.
I wish my son would say... He says Daddy sometimes. He says Mummy sometimes. He says titties all the time. His favourite thing to say is... He just points at stuff and goes... And then we tell him what it's called, and he points at something else and goes... So it's a full day of naming everything in the room, or everything in the street, or everything in the car. And I don't want to say it's testing, but it is annoying.
It drives you fucking nuts.
Yeah, it does. It does a little bit. Because he knows how to talk.
Can't be asked. See, this is the same with Willow. She doesn't.
Yeah.
She's she's had a like speech test and hearing test like 3 or 4 times because they say her speech is behind. I just think she can't be asked. She can say words absolutely fine when she can be bothered. Most of the time it's
That is not. It's like he'll understand every word we say. So, just to go back to the point, we have 1,010 dogs. If I said to him, "Go and get the blue squeaky ball and give it to Wilbur," because there's a lot of dog balls, and that's not meant to be a reference to the amount of male dogs. He will go and get the correct ball and give it to the correct dog.
Yeah, so he understands. He just doesn't speak.
Yeah, he just won't use the words. Which is fine, I guess.
He'll get there.
I'm not worried. He will talk eventually. I have a feeling that he isn't talking because he knows that he can't form the words perfectly and is frustrated with himself.
He's probably a bit like you, and he just can't be asked.
A bit like me? Yes, very like me.
He can't be asked.
He is very lazy. If he falls over even slightly, like stumbles down onto one knee or something, he'll wait until you give him a hand to get up. So you'll have to go all the way across the room to put your hand out so you can hold your hand and stand up.
Just reminded me of some family friends when they had a little one. If he'd stumble at all, even just like, not even fall, just like take a big step as you do when you slip sort of thing, he would instantly just go straight face down.
So he's already a footballer for the Premier League.
Exactly, that was
Perfect.
the joke we used to make. But he'd be like, just slightly trip and you'd sort of stop and you'd be able to hear him going, for fuck's sake. And he just goes... And
that kid is going to pay.
But he
the bills
doesn't
one
go
day.
down nicely. He didn't go down nicely. It was never onto my knees and down. It was just like stumble. And you just stop. You can see in his face. He was just like, for fuck's sake! And he would just go splat, head first into the ground, and then burst into tears because he's just headbutted the ground.
You know, execute. That's a Pokemon. Executing a perfectly formed diving headbutt is a useful life skill.
Do you mean executing? Eggs are cute.
I know. Oh, I said execute. Yeah, that's a Pokemon.
You said that face.
Do you play Pokemon?
Yes, I played Pokemon.
Well, you know what execute is then, don't
but
you?
It's executing a perfect head dive is what you're trying to say.
I know, and that's what I was trying to say, but I've been thinking about Pokemon a lot. Okay.
No, it's not okay. Anyway.
Well, no, do you want me to tell you why I've been thinking about Pokemon a lot?
Go on.
Well, did you know that what's his name? Yuri Geller.
What spoon?
The guy with the spoons. Yeah. You weren't allowed the Kadabra card, the shiny Kadabra card,
yes,
because
I did
apparently
say that.
The pose that he was doing was in his likeness, and he basically copyright claimed it. And recently he lifted the copyright
I did see
claim
about
on it.
that, yes.
Yeah, and now, do you know how much those cards are selling
Absolute
for?
fortune, I reckon.
One specific case, this is a bit of an anomaly, but I'm going to use it anyway, £30,000.
See, that's a lot, but that's not insane compared to some of them.
No, it's not insane, you're right, but now, unopened starter packs that contain one guaranteed shiny are going for around $300,000.
Yeah, I knew that. There's a guy I watch on YouTube. I used to have watched, does unboxing of Pokemon cards and that sort of thing, and he's...
You watch unboxing videos, what are you, 7?
It's only of Pokemon cards, and I don't really like the unboxing. I like watching him because I like seeing the cards. He gets the cards, shows them, gives them what he thinks the rating's going to be, and then sends them off to be appraised by the professionals when they put them in their little boxes and all that lot, and they measure them and all that lot. And twice now he's got perfect 10 black, whatever they call it, which is the card is absolutely perfect, 10 out of 10 in all sections. And he got a Charizard, a shiny Charizard like that, and he got it back and was like, yeah, this is now a £500,000, whatever it is, fucking Pokemon card, because there's only 4 of them in the world to get the perfect 10 sort of thing.
Isn't it really annoying that you had loads of them lying around and you
I
got
don't
rid
think
of
I
them?
had a shiny Charizard first edition.
My brother did. He'll confirm that. I'll get him to confirm that. He listens to these. He had a shiny Charizard. In fact, I think he had 2.
Is it first edition though? Because it's got to be the
Actually,
first
you know
edition.
what? No,
as
we
well.
didn't throw ours away. I think we think somebody stole
nice.
them. We have no proof. And it was towards the back end of us being interested in them, so it took a while for us to notice. Because we used to keep them in this little green pot. That wasn't actually that little. You could fit a lot of cards in it. And they were all gone one day with all the shinies and all the good stuff. Because it got to one point, we used to have our own collections, but it got to a point where we just sort of lumped them all together.
See, I never did Pokemon cards. I did Yu-Gi-Oh cards though.
We never did anything with them. We just collected them.
I never bought them, but I said I did Yu-Gi-Oh cards rather than Pokemon. Even though I preferred watching in Pokemon and playing Pokemon on the game. Card-wise, I did Yu-Gi-Oh. But then
I don't know anything about Yu-Gi-Oh.
The corner shop near me wouldn't sell Pokemon cards, but they did sell Yu-Gi-Oh cards, so that's probably why.
Availability bias.
Because then me and Mum used to walk down to the shop, walk the dog, and all that lot.
What about Digimon?
I love the TV show. Digimon, digital monsters, Digimon are the champions.
You're just asking for a DMCA takedown on our video.
Change into digital champions to take the digital world. Digimon, digital monsters. I'm surprised I can remember that, actually. It's been a long time since I've watched it.
I think we just spent 18 seconds of you singing the Digimon
I'm okay with that.
And you said you're surprised you can remember it. It contains the word Digimon said at different speeds over and over.
No, because it's also got digital monsters.
Which is the long form of Digimon.
And that they're the champions.
Yes. At least the Pokemon theme has
it's like obviously I know the Pokemon one, but it's because people still sing it. When was the last time you heard, besides me singing it just then, when was the last time you heard the Digimon theme tune? Exactly.
It must be way over 20 years.
And I still remember it. It's been that long.
Yeah, but the Pokemon theme tune is unironically a great song.
I wanna be the very best.
No, stop singing, please.
No one ever was.
Stop doing what you call
wish
singing.
I could sing. I'm sorry to everybody. We just lost so many followers, haven't we? We didn't have any followers to begin with, but the few we did.
We are now in negative follows thanks to you.
I actually owe some to the Seth Rogen podcast.
To who?
It's like one of the biggest podcasts in the world, isn't it? No, he's the guy from Family Guy, isn't he?
That's Seth MacFarlane.
Oh, I don't fucking know.
Seth Rogen's the chubby guy with the beard, isn't
Yes, he is, the actor. It's the Joe Rogan podcast.
Right, and you were going to say it's one of the biggest podcasts, right? And you were going to be mad at me for never having heard of it. You don't even know his name.
But I'm useless, we know this.
Oh.
There you go, let's just see how big it is. Joe Rogan podcast listen numbers. In 2019, each monthly podcast has 190 million downloads.
Nice.
We've got, 4, 5 episodes now? This is 5th, isn't it? We don't have 190 total.
Well, we probably do actually, because we
might be getting close.
Well, I don't know about the analytics for full listens, but we've got 120 something views on YouTube.
Hell, we might be 190 actually then.
And I think we're approaching 50 on Spotify.
Also, for those who don't see the Twitter and the Facebook, which you should go find, by the way, at our mouths on Twitter and just words from our mouths on Facebook. Also on Instagram, apparently. I don't know if we're actually doing anything on there yet, but we have an Instagram. I thought you were setting an Instagram up. We will have an Instagram.
Oh, wait. Oh, sorry. I forgot to do that. Oh, you promised everyone I'd have done it after that podcast.
No, you've got to do it now before this podcast goes live. You've got 3 days then.
I strongly doubt that I'll remember to do that. What are we going to put on the Instagram?
Save the name for now, because when we get famous...
Oh, okay. Oh, because it's just written in the stars, isn't it? Obviously.
If you believe, then it will happen.
That's not how it works. Build it and they will come is not a business strategy.
Well, I'm going to hold my shit until people listen.
What?
I'm going to...
Please do not do that.
See, if people don't listen, there'll be medical reasons why they should. Because I'll die otherwise.
No, that's blackmail. You can't hold people ransom like
I can and I will.
No, stop it. Please stop holding your shit in.
So I had a shit before the podcast, it's fine.
So starting now then, when you don't need a shit, because it's easier said than done,
I want to get
right?
good night's sleep tonight.
I'll hold my shit in unless I'm going to sleep until people listen to this podcast. So I will shit at least once per day until people listen to this podcast.
And I will not enjoy it.
I don't get what's going on
Neither
anymore.
do I. We said we were...
It's a good thing nobody listens.
We said we were going to discuss Christmas in this podcast, and there's 5 minutes late. We haven't really discussed Christmas besides you're ready and I'm not. and you're only ready because Charlotte's ready.
Well, no way. Okay, to be fair, I've done quite a lot of the heavy lifting this Christmas.
As in...
I've done a lot of the deciding. I've done a lot of the buying, and I wrapped about 95 presents.
95?
Not well wrapped, but they are wrapped. Yeah.
Why?
They're not, because they're not expensive things. It's just like lots of little
Still,
things.
95 is a lot. Man, you got kids, so you're fucking 20 in there if you're doing little things, aren't you? A stocking's
Exactly,
20.
and some things are just a
easy,
pound.
isn't it?
You know,
Yeah, no,
like,
okay, I'll let you off then.
It's not like we've broke the bank doing it. It's just a lot
I'm
of
probably at
little
like
things.
30 presents total. But then I have bought everybody an Easter egg.
For Christmas. Okay.
They,
Is that some sort of joke
Well,
that you're doing?
we always kind of do one vaguely, especially like my cousins and friendship group sort of thing, which is
You've got
it's
friends?
family. Like my best friends are all
Oh.
my family. So yeah, great, tragic.
That's really sad, isn't it?
But I always
But then at least you've got
we always
friends.
try and do little jokey presents. Like one year I wanted a cocktail set. So I got a shaker and a decent knife and all that lot, all the other bits and bobs you need with cocktails, and then individually wrapped lemon and limes. Like 30 of the fucking things. We played the game of lemon or lime as I was unwrapping it.
Okay. I bought Charlotte about 12.
We always
things.
buy each other rubber ducks. That's become a big thing for me. I've got a giant rubber duck. And by giant, I mean he's got to be like 12, 13 inches across on the bottom. It's a big rubber duck.
That's a big rubber. We've got a big rubber duck, but it was for the baby. He likes.
Oh, we all
rubber
got one, us each other one at 18. Because that's an obvious 18th present, isn't it? Oh, okay.
No.
But yeah, so we always try and one up each other with stupid presents.
You know what I did for my 18th birthday?
I don't know, but my 18th birthday party was 10 years ago today.
Oh. Oh yeah, your birthday was
Yeah.
the other day.
I bought a VR headset.
I'm not wishing you a happy birthday
Why
again.
not?
Because
You didn't
you've
wish
already
it
had
to me
one.
on the
And
day
It wasn't really a
either.
happy birthday. I told you to shut up because nobody cares. But that's
you
what I
didn't
mean
wish
by
it to
happy
me on the
birthday.
day. No.
Did I not? Oh. I'm not
Should
sorry.
be.
But I'm not. That's fine, but I'm not. Is the
I bought a
point.
VR headset.
I know you did. You spent a lot of money
It
on
was
it.
£100 off.
That's still £300.
Shut up, you bought a computer. It was 1,100 quid.
That's considerably more useful than
Yeah,
a
but I've already got the
VR
computer.
headset. I said, fine. You know what? You just own all the fancy tech you want. You're just a Mac.
I am completely.
You're not going to use
I have
it.
two.
You're just going to hang it
I
on
have
the
two
wall.
pairs of AirPods, Pete.
You're occasionally going to rub your testicles on it just to maintain dominance and keep your scent on it, and that's all it's going to be.
Is
used
that
for.
how you maintain dominance? You rub your testicles on things.
That's how you maintain dominance over people.
Is that
I
why
think.
Charlotte's the dominant one in your family? Because you won't rub your testicles on her? Because she'll bite them off.
This is a very, very weird picture you're painting.
Am I wrong?
I mean, I started being weird, and then you just sort of pushed it over the edge.
That's my job in life, isn't it?
I don't know where you applied for the job, but you definitely got it.
Woo! I'm number one.
Please stop that. Something. Pushing things into the awkward
I'm
boundaries.
also really good at being a bad example. Like quite a few times, like in class, the teacher would say, and whatever you do when you're doing this math equation, don't do it this way like James has. I said, what? And every time he's just like, he told my work. I was like, yep, see, he's done it the wrong way. I've got the right answer.
Oh, but did you get the answer right?
I'm really good at getting the answer
so
in maths.
what's the
but
problem then?
You've got to do it using this method. I don't want to do it that method. I prefer this method. This method works for me. Fuck you. You stupid
I
curriculum.
don't understand why anyone would ever have a problem with your method being slightly
I
longer.
hate the way of write your workings. Why? I got the fucking answer.
Yeah.
If when I'm at work and I'm trying to work out how tight to do something, I go, oh, the way I got my results was my boss is going to go, fuck off, do the bolt up, you wanker.
I don't think that would count under exam conditions,
But
even though technically it's
believe it or
correct.
not, life is not an exam.
No, life is not an exam. I don't do very well with like standard educational testing and things like that. But then that's because I'm an idiot, not because of the system.
If you
Although,
judge,
let's be fair, the system being geared around entirely. No, so stop shushing me. Fine.
If you
win.
judge a goldfish on its ability to climb a tree, it will spend its life thinking it's stupid.
Stop regurgitating
But
phrases that you say on
Einstein
memes.
did
Nobody
not
ever
say
said
that. is what the meme always says. It was
I was
Einstein.
going to say
It
it's
wasn't
very
that.
unlikely that Einstein did
Well,
say
it's
that because he was German.
Yeah. But it's still a very good parable. Right, now go what you were going to say.
It is good. It was along those lines, basically, that we test people based on
We
bullshit.
test people for them to be effective in the workplace.
No, we don't. We test them to be effective in exams.
No, we teach people. But the whole 8 in the morning start, 3 o'clock or 5 o'clock finish or whatever it is, lunch at a
Well, yeah,
set
routines
time.
like that, yeah. But we don't teach them anything they're going to need to use, like critical thought and creative problem solving. You get taught a specific way to solve a specific problem, and it's very, 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 very rare that becomes a translatable
See, this is
skill.
why I think university is really, really good.
University's great for it,
Because-
yeah, but we should be teaching people as a standard in education. I attribute any sort of problem-solving skills I've got, any sort of critical thinking, any sort of strategical and forward planning, I attribute to my exorbitant amount of time spent on video games. It's responsible for my reading level, it's responsible for my maths level, it's responsible for any sort of awareness of tracking objects and tracking resources, anything like that.
Spatial
all down to
reasoning,
video
all that
games,
lot.
due to my hobbies. Yeah, everything.
See,
None of it comes from school. The only thing that comes from school is that sort of start at a certain point, eat at a certain point, and go home at a certain point.
institutionalization. That is a good word.
Yeah. It is a good word. It doesn't get used enough in conversation, like the word
I
defenestrate.
don't know what that means.
It means to throw a person or an object out of a window.
Yes, I need that word in my life. But see, the thing with university, the reason I am a really big advocate for it is because it teaches you how to problem solve, how to extrapolate data. I'm really good at Googling stuff. If someone says to me, oh, what's this? I can Google it quickly because you know what to type is your keywords and how to get what you need. University teaches you stuff like that, as does life as well. But
University did teach you the divide between the two kinds of people. You know, the first type
What,
being those who
extrapolate
can
from
extrapolate information from incomplete data.
I want to say it.
You're not going to say
And those
it,
who cannot.
because then you become then you become the third type of person.
The wanker that fucking ruins the joke.
Yeah.
Why do we end up having the serious part of our podcast in the last 5 minutes? Because we're running out of time again. Last week we were discussing renewable energy. This week we're discussing institutionalization of the workplace, of the education place and workplace.
I'm going to put this to you because this is what happens with our conversations. They get to the points where we've got lots to say when I have to
Exactly.
leave.
What we need to do is we need to do 2 podcasts. Or 2 hour long podcasts and just cut it at the hour point and then just put the last hour
The
in.
first hour. Reintroduce ourselves when the going gets
We're
good.
discussing the stupid stuff, which I've already forgot what we spoke about at the start of the podcast.
No, come on. Now, let's be honest. Okay, if people are going to sit through the entire podcast and then the meaty stuff is at the end, that means they're going to come to the next podcast and go, yeah, you know what? I'm going to listen to the hour of bullshit for that 3 minutes of insightful.
You know those
words.
shit American TV shows that spend 27 minutes telling you what's going to happen later in the show and then 3 minutes doing it?
Those in the podcast form. We have become US television. Now all we need is adverts every 4.5 minutes, and we have become
You started
US
with an
television.
advert for spiders in a fucking box.
That's not a real advert. That was a joke. That was something for people to laugh at or be triggered
Hey,
by.
Shadow Legends.
Oh my god, no. They get everybody. Even people that you just don't expect to succumb to it. They must pay a fuck.
If
ton for
Raid
people
offered me money to
advertise
put
that.
Raid Shadow Legends in the podcast, I will put it in the podcast. Currently, we are not sponsored by them.
I would too, but they must offer so much money because, like, YouTubers that don't need money because they make already so much money. have
Raid
got
Shadow
adverts for
Legends.
Raid Shadow Legends. So it just means they're offering enough money to, like, become a blip on their radar. They're putting so much in. I've never even touched the game. Have you touched the game? Me neither. And I've been advertised it by every single one of my favourite YouTubers, bar one who doesn't do advertising.
AFK Arena.
Yeah, that one comes
Connor's
up a lot
played that.
too. But I don't put a lot of time into mobile. The only game I play on my mobile is Baldur's Gate,
The
which again is that 1998 release that I keep coming back to that I still haven't done.
The only real mobile game I play is something called Ulala, which is a idle RPG. So it's all about
Oh, it's not the noise that the Martians make in the Jeff Wayne's War of the World music.
no, but it's you have a team of 4 of you, 2 damage dealers, a healer, and a tank, and
Is this an advert?
it might be, I don't know, but if anyone is interested in it, if they like the style of games that me and Peter talk about, you'll probably actually really like this. Me and Claw play it quite a lot, but every fucking there's like once every two.
Was there any need to swear?
Yes. What happens when my brain starts running out of processing powers? It fills it with swear words.
That reminds me of the story of the Scottish football fan.
I don't know the story, but
He's sat watching. Oh, he's
let me just quickly explain the game before I forget. It's basically it's an idle running game, but there's bosses and you've got to skill your abilities and all that lot. It's like playing an RPG, but it's on a mobile and it's a little bit pay to win. But if you don't pay, you can still do really well in the runs. Right, Scottish Story, go, and it'll get it. It's called Ooh La La Idle Adventure.
Okay.
Get it in all good app stores.
Okay. Right, the Scottish Story, and then we're done.
Yes.
Okay, because it's late. So the Scottish guy is sat watching football, and something happens that he doesn't quite agree with. So he stands up and just goes, "Hey, fucking boo!" Because it's unnecessary to swear. That's what you did. That was the equivalent.
See, for me, it's almost like my brain has a certain amount of processing power. Once I hit like 80-90%, it's a warning. I start swearing more. It's like, fucking, you're getting
The
fucking
word
close,
fuck
fucking
just
shit,
comes
cock,
out.
bollocks.
And then you turn into dial-up internet sounds, apparently. That sounds a little bit more like a budget R2-D2 at the minute. It's, okay, and on those sound effects, people, I bid you good night or good day.
Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays, all the other shit. Bye.
Bye.